Akọ́dá mojúbà yín lénìí, aṣẹ̀dá mojúbà yín lénìí, igun mẹ́rin ilé ayé mojúbà yín lénìí, ẹ jẹ́ kí ìbà mi kí ó ṣẹ. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò náà, àgbà kò ní tán nílẹ̀ Oòduà, èmi ni Erelu Túwáṣẹ. I pay homage to all the unseen and the seen, and I welcome viewers in particular and those in the studio to another episode of a program called Agba Koni Tonile Oduduwa. It's a prayer. It simply means, may we never lack elders in Odua land. I want to thank all those who have joined me for today. It's a special edition. We'll be focusing on a topical issue of importance to a lot of us. I'm delighted to welcome a number of speakers for today. They're here to share their thoughts, and we're all excited by their presence because they demonstrate adequate knowledge and capacity to deliver. My program is usually both in English and Yoruba. I am Erelu Túwáṣẹ. I'm the host, and I'm the originator of this particular divinely inspired program. It's not an organization. The main objective is to facilitate understanding, to avoid misunderstanding, and in particular, ensure we don't have conflict that destroys the Yoruba population and prevent the much desired unity that we all are aspiring for. That is why this program exists. As I said, today we shall be looking at a topical issue. It's all about social media, fake news, hackers, and all that goes with it. Most of us are accustomed to it. When I send out my flyer, I in particular displayed rules that exist in a particular part of the world, and that is United Arab Emirates, a very strict nation. It has been displayed in order to have it as a comparison for whatever is going on in the sector of where we all belong, which is in particular Nigeria. Without further ado, why don't I just go straight away to welcome my guest speaker, who will introduce himself briefly, and he will present his thoughts on the topic for today. Over to you, Barrister Ogunrinde.
Thank you very much, man. My name is Dr. Ogunrinde, and I'm sure you must have seen that from the flyer. I'm a legal practitioner and notary public. It's a rare honor to be called upon to discuss a very which is social media, fake news, Yoruba today and future. I'm sure that we're all familiar with it. It's not something that nobody is not aware of what social media is about. We're all aware that information is core of life. It plays an important part in shaping our decisions of the society and how it affects the political, social, economic, and cultural context of our communities. We can say rightly that social media has become a platform for information dissemination. In this our age, where almost all half of news consumes or receive are shared online, false information can easily reach large audiences by spreading rapidly from one person to another. Fake news had always been around, but nowadays, the main difference lies in the way that it's being spread and read at present, information, whether true or false, they travel very, very fast. People can easily access information very easily through different media platforms, through the internet. In addition to this, images also come afore that makes the information very believable and makes it convincing that what is being said on a particular topic. Social media has exploded a lot. Even though social media has bridged a gap between the traditional method of letters, telephone calls, which have been a traditional way of contacting our neighbors. What is social media anyway? Can we just define social media? Social media is an interactive web, internet-based application such as text, post, or comment, digital photos or videos, and data generated through online transactions. Fake news or false news, they reverse to false information or propaganda published under the pretense of being authentic news. Fake news, I'm sure that we're all aware that even if we're not aware of anything, that Donald Trump is at the forefront of saying anything he says is fake news, that everybody knows what is actually fake news. But what is social media exposure? We know that many people build lots of social media exposure we have now. We have the Facebook, we have the Instagram, we have WhatsApp, we have Snapchat, and all sorts of things that information can be disseminated in a very rapid form. I always tell people that once you have an information, don't just share an information. Think about it, because once you share that information, it becomes yours. Because for you to pass on information, you must be sure that the information you are passing across is accurate or correct. No matter whatever we say, even if you send information through social media, try and still check from the most traditional method of communication. Check whether in the news, we have the CNN, we have the Sky News, we have the BBC, we have even our NTA in Nigeria too. Try and check before you think that that information is worthy of you disseminating. Because once you share an information, it becomes yours. You own it. Because I've had opportunity of monitoring some platforms for different groups of organizations at the same time. And I keep on saying to people, don't just post anything. Before you post, pause, reflect, find out, check, reconfirm, is it correct or not, before you transform the information. We must be aware that fake news can be very deliberate. Okay, it's very deliberate lie that is being picked up by those of other blogs, and then other people translate it, and then fake news can actually become the real news. That is why it's always very important that we double check, and we triple check our information before we share that information, before we share that image, no matter how credible it looks. We should try and pause once, two, twice before you say, oh, this is an information. I remember recently there was an information that was posted about the Oni of Ife and the Jagbagan of Lagos, saying that, oh, somebody stand up, somebody sit down, without knowing the actual information at the same time. All this kind of information can be transformed easily, and that can cause disaffection in our community. We can say with all due respect that fake news is actually yellow journalism or propaganda that consists of deliberate disinformation, or which was spread and broadcasted online. Meaning fake news is actually created to mislead readers, to change opinion about particular information. Even the NSAS that happened, you know that there are a lot of speculation that information were tweeted around at the same time. That is why, even though social media has come to stay, at the same time, we have to be very cautious when we use social media. And we must not forget that being Yoruba people, we must be very cautious, because we say that it's one thing they say, any loan to Batibok. In the same way, once you share an information, you own that information. you transmit that information, you become as guilty as the person that actually started that news misinformation. And you're both as guilty as the person that started it. So that we need, though it is very good that we have social media, I'm not going to go into technicalities of the law that governs social media because that's on my remit today. I'm only requested to discuss social media, how it affects Yoruba and today and future. But we must be very sure that social media has come to stay. We must embrace it, but we must make sure we are using it to the best or to our best advantage to make sure we can advance the cause of our own generation, of our own race, because that's what we belong to. No matter whatever name we call it. Imagine, let us just rewind. You know that our children, they are tutored through media a lot. A lot of programs on YouTube that's created that influence their opinion. We don't have that in Yoruba people. We don't have it because we're all busy, doing other jobs. Instead of looking to this kind of avenue to train our children to make sure that they can pick up on our own values through the use of social media. I hope that I'll be able to address a little bit on social media, and I believe that other eminent people who are coming behind me will be able to present formidable information that we can all share into the deliberation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Barrister Dapo Guninde. If you've just joined me, we are together today exploring a very important issue. You are on a program called Agbakuni Tonile Oduduwa. I am Mary Lutunwashe. I'm going to move straight on to my second speaker. I always call him Alagba. It's over to you. Hello, are you there? Are you there? Please unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm here now. Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, I can hear you. Over to you now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma. Thank you for the honor for inviting me. I really appreciate it, ma, for honoring me, bringing me here this evening, or should I say this afternoon? Because in UK, yeah, we are still in afternoon anyway. So my name is Benga Adewale, and I'm currently a student of computer networking and cybersecurity. And I'm a Yoruba indigene, but Ogun State, and I'm from Egba. That's how far I can go. And then I think today, what our host, our mommy, Erelu, said, is about educating ourselves about social media. I remember when I first, got my admission into university, because my course actually deals with internet, technology, computer. So one of the fundamental things they taught us when we first got in from the first year is the Computer Misuse Act, which is very, very important, because if you are not careful, you can easily get into trouble when you misuse computer, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Most especially, gaining access into people's, computer system without them giving you permission, or part of spreading fake news, then, copying other people's contents without their permission, then using derogative word, abusing people and stuff like that. So like what, today's meeting is about educating ourselves about social media. Although we know that we are in the age of internet, like they say, like data is life. It is part of our life now. It's like it's almost impossible for us, like, not to do without it. So it is a privilege So we really need to, like, guide it, especially in this our fight for an independent Yoruba nation. It is a very powerful tool that we are using, this modern tool we are using today. And if we are not careful and we abuse, the social media rights that we have, we know the kind of, the government we have in Nigeria. They can, I think in November 2019, they've passed the bill like that sometimes last year, which the bill was later truncated. And then we can see that their motion with this social media bill this time is more stronger than last year, most especially because it's coming just right in the midst of this NSAS. So what I'm just going to advise us on is we should be very careful with the way, we share messages on, with using social media so that we don't get in trouble. Like what, the first speaker said the other time, they said, "Ẹyin lohun tó bá ti jábọ́ kò ṣeé ṣà." Whatever we are sharing, the person we shared it with that information to, they won't think of like, where did you get it from? Because to them, they believe it's coming from you. So you are the owner. It's like you are the content creator. So you have to bear that consequences, of sharing that information, the video, the picture. I remember some years back in UK here, there was a lady, I think someone sent, two kids, like, their naked picture, not pornography, but like maybe someone is torturing them or something. And she went to show it to a colleague at work, which happens to be a white lady. So the lady, she's not happy with that video. Then she went to, report to the management, and she eventually got arrested. Now she was claiming someone sent it to her. But the police, they are not even interested in who sent it to her. What they're saying is, as long as, it's you are the one showing it to another person, then you will be the one to be held accountable, for that video. So these are part of things, like we need to be very careful of, when we are using social media these days. Like even part of the social media bill that they are just introducing now, I've tried to look into it and see what is in there. Like, take for instance now, let's say you are sharing a false video, a false information. One of the legal implications is someone can go to jail of up to 3 years, or you could be fined 10 million naira, or even both. You could be fined. You could go to jail for 3 years, or you could be fined 10 million naira at the same time. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So, you could either get fined, 10 million and still go to jail for 3 years. And then one of the things that I don't actually like, in the social media bill that they're trying to pass into the National Assembly now, is that even if you are found guilty of it, you cannot even go to court, like to appeal against it. So, and like I said, we know what Nigerian is like. It's a very volatile country. There is so much impunity, especially for the ruling class, because the law does not work for a common man. So it will work for them. And then my advice to us is, before we share any content, any video, any picture, it is good to always verify. Even if you look at my WhatsApp, the picture profile I put there right now is fake news kills faster than, bullets. Because I know, how much damage Facebook, how much fake news can cause in the society. Like I remember in 2007, there was a fake news from India, no, from Iran, that White House has been, blown up by some kind of terrorist, and within hours, the economy of America has lost billions. Just before, the internet could, before the, people can even verify the news, the economy has already lost billions just within hours. This is how much damage, fake news can cause to our society. Even if you go online now and you're trying to find out even the truth about, these World Trade Center, what actually happened, you cannot get the original, story, the authentic story, what happened, because there are so many fake news out there, you don't even know what to believe. And this is how much, this, fake news can damage the society. We wouldn't really know, the real from the fake. And then, thank God now, like I said, we live in internet age. When we get information and then, we are not sure, we have so many, media or ways to verify. One best way is just Google it. Try to find out what this person sent to me. Is it real? Sometimes some videos, they are even 5 years back, 10 years back, and you will see people reposting them like it's new. I remember there was a video during the NSAS, while, when the whole, I think after the Lekki shooting, the next day when everything really got heat up, there was a lady that someone actually posted the video. I think her mouth, got shot at, and you can see how much damage the bullet has caused to her mouth. And people were carrying the news that, look at what police has done. They've shot someone. All this kind of thing is going to evoke anger. And when people take this anger to the streets, they will start destroying everything. Meanwhile, we later find out that news does not even relate to NSAS at all. It was her boyfriend who was a police officer that shot her. And it's not even during the NSAS. And, like I said, for our agitation, in getting this Oduduwa Republic, we really, really need social media. Let's talk about, like you can see that many TV stations in Nigeria now, they are not broadcasting what we are doing, because it's part of, what we are talking about, social media regulation. They are very careful, so they don't want to broadcast. So the only way we can do is we have to broadcast ourselves. We can open our own Facebook channel, our own, YouTube channel, Twitter, and stuff. So imagine if, without, say, like, because we want to gain our freedom now, then we start sharing some 5 years video about Fulani and Yoruba fighting somewhere, they will start thinking, oh, I think these people, they're trying to use the social media, to cause problem. And then one of the greatest war that I think can ever happen is a tribal war, because it is very dangerous. Like myself, I am an advocate of peace. I always tell the people that we are into this Oduduwa agitation, I always tell them that no matter what we do, we must always be peaceful, because even according to UNPO, it's one of the criteria that if you are going to get your independence, we have to support you only if you are peaceful people. So we have to put that at the back of our mind. And then, if whatever thing is destroyed, like take for instance, lives that have been lost, we can't get those lives back, probably due to fake news. Those people are dead. They can't come back to life. So we have to be very careful, and we need to make sure that, we don't get into trouble as well, especially with this, social media bill, that is being passed into a house now. And I'm very scared. I don't know. I'm so skeptical about it, because like right now you can see, even this is not about even one person taking the bill to the house. It's like the whole of the northern elders sitting together, and then, coming together about the idea of this, social media censor. And I think some of our, elders as well in Yoruba land as well, they are in support of it. So I'm so scared. I don't know how, this bill will not come to an act. I still don't know how. Unless maybe if people will come out to protest, and complain bitterly about it like they did in 2019, and when the hate speech bill was truncated. Otherwise, because when we say we're practicing a democratic system, so now you are prosecuting someone and you are not even giving them chance to even go to the court, to defend themselves or to even appeal against it. So this is a law. How do you even prosecute the person? You're taking them to the court, and now you are now telling them they cannot even now appeal and defend themselves by the same court that prosecute them. This is the kind of Nigeria we are complaining about. And like I said, the law of Nigeria is not for a common man. I'm sorry, and Nigerian law is only for the common man. It's not for the ruling class. So I'm just appealing to us that we should be very careful. Whatever information people pass on to us, it is even better if we ask the person that is sharing it with us, oh, where did you get this video? How long was this? Who sent it to you? Even if they tell you their own part of the story about how they get that content, try to verify. It is very, very important so that we don't get into trouble. Thank you very much.
You're very kind. Thank you. If you've just joined me, this is a disciplined environment. I'm not going to tolerate any chat saying give other people a chance. These are my guests. They are my guests. And I will decide the order. They've been invited as speakers to share their opinion, and I will respect them to do so. Thank you very much, Alagba Benga. If you've just joined me, this is Agba Konitonile Oduduwa, and I am Erelu Tuwashe. Today, we are together looking at a very important topic. Fake news kills faster than AK-47. I hope somebody agrees with me. Let me go straight on to my third speaker. My third speaker will introduce himself. By the way, I ought to apologize. The flyer suggested the third speaker is an indigene of Abeokuta. No, his company is in Abeokuta. He's an indigene of Ijebu-Ode. Over to you, architect. Please introduce yourself and share your thoughts. Thank you. Have you unmuted yourself? Please unmute yourself. Or do I need to?
I've done that.
Thank you. Over to you. You've got 15 minutes to 20 to share your thoughts.
Thank you very much, Ma. I want to appreciate you for the opportunity that has been granted unto me and to be here to share my view about the topic that has been picked for today. That's the social media, fake news, Yoruba now and future. My name is Uwafemi Adewale Lawal. I am a native of Ijebu-Ode, but based in Abeokuta. And by the grace of God, I'm an architect and into full architectural practice, design and build, to be very specific. In addressing the issue we have today as the topic, first and first, other speakers have really spoken well and addressed some areas which I would have wanted to talk about, but at least I'll just add one or two things and now talk about the Yoruba race today and future more. Social media is a tool in the hands of everybody. So the way we use it is the thing that really matters. That is, social media is a way of advancement to life, and how we have harnessed the opportunity that he has given us is another thing. So coming back to the issue of Yoruba today and future, if we all agree that social media for us all, for us to be able to use it very well, it means we have to devise a way which is going to be more beneficial to us. Us as a Yoruba people, we have discovered that many of the things that we hold on to as our cultural heritage, customs, norms of the Yoruba people, as we all know in the past, has been a thing that has probably been, faded away as a result of probably lack of people who are to preach this culture, lack of people who are to make this culture go down and sink into the brains of the younger ones coming behind. In a way, if we all agree this, if we all agree to this, we can then look at a way, because even it's very obvious that even in our schools these days, there's no much of Yoruba culture that is being taught. All they do is, even some schools don't even do Yoruba as a course. So all they do is just teach Yoruba and just Yoruba on a peripheral, not to the deep of it that entails our culture, what we stand for, and where we're coming from for us to really know. I will now say, in my own view, since social media is a tool for everybody, I would say that
I'm sure it's internet network disruptions. We'll wait for him. Whilst we're waiting for him, I'm going to notify my next speaker, Princess, to prepare herself to step on the stage, as if it were, to share her own thoughts. Princess, you have two options. You can decide to speak Yoruba. You can decide to speak English. Whichever you choose, it's fine. The next speaker after you is going to be a gentleman from one of the French-speaking countries. He may choose to speak in Yoruba or English. And I also have another speaker who is also equally with the option to do the same. So we will bring back architect when the network resolve its matter. Princess, before I invite you to share your thoughts, let me see if I have got Omoba Onikeke Kwazim in the audience. I saw him earlier on. Now, I don't know about my other speaker because I'm not sure the name. Baba Akeweje, are you here? Hello, Shewambe. I don't know the name on the phone. So let's move forward. Moving forward, I want to emphasize at some point, I will invite those of you who are in the studio with me to share your thoughts. Please, when you share your thoughts, no negative criticism of anybody here. I don't allow conflict around me. No, whatever you know, please state it. You are not to start running down what somebody else has got to say. We Yorubas have got to begin to learn to appreciate each other rather than being on each other's throat. So please, when I invite you to speak, introduce yourself. I don't want to hear state. Tell me which town. On that note, only Kábíyèsí là ń kọ́ ọmọ ọba. So let me bring in Princess Moyo to share her thoughts with us. Over to you, Princess. Please unmute yourself. You need to unmute yourself. Thank you. Share to unmute ara yín, Princess.
Hello, ma. Good afternoon, ma.
A very good afternoon, Princess.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Princess Moyo Solua Sagi. I'm from Igbotako, Osoro land, Ikale. Don't want me to say she doesn't want to hear the state, but it's on this because we are very small, so not everybody that knows us. So
okay, please do state it, Princess. Please go ahead.
Okay, ma. I'm going to deviate a bit from what the other speakers have spoken about.
That's fine.
I'm going to be speaking on free speech because that is very, very important to me and why we need it. I'm going to start by quoting Rowan Atkinson, who is a British comedian. You know, when he spoke about the importance of free speech, you know, he says that for most people, that most precious things, part of most precious things in life is food in their mouth and a roof over their head. But for him, he says food in his mouth and the ability to speak freely. That is from Rowan Atkinson. And I agreed with him. For me, I think free speech is very, very important. Yes, there are fake news out there, but it is important to be able to speak freely. So personally, for me, free speech meaning that I'm able to speak freely with sorry about that, man. Without fear or intimidation. When you look at the what the environment of what free speech has brought, free speech creates innovation. It creates atmosphere for people to be creative. It creates jobs. When you look at Yoruba land now, you know, we're bringing it home to us in Yoruba land. Free speech has been able to create lots of job opportunity to us. We're able to think out of the box. We've become more creative. It has opened up so many avenues. Able to think, you reduce the, narrow-mindedness. It's because we're able to think freely, where we can do a lot. There are a lot of jobs that are being created by people who are into media, who are into YouTube. And for me, I'm able to get news of what is happening in Ondo State. That is my home state, so I'll keep referring to Ondo State.
That's
within few minutes, I'm able to know what is happening there. Meanwhile, before, it is very, very difficult. Like all the media houses, they don't really talk about what is happening in other states, or especially like villages and towns. Most of them they're only concentrated in Lagos and Abuja. So in most cases, they don't really go out there to go and investigate what is happening. I'm not blaming them because it's a bit difficult to travel out of Lagos, especially with what is happening right now in Nigeria. They're talking about the roads are not very good. We have the bandits, you have the kidnappers, so they are a bit worried about going out there. However, with this, this new generation that I call my press officers, which I know a lot of people does not agree with them, but for me, that they've really, really opened my my knowledge. I'm able to know more about what is happening in Nigeria. I believe that, you know, we cannot just rely on just the media house, because, you know, the only, that is me now, that most of what they bring is from the government perspective. They are afraid of showing what is happening out there. They don't even go into the street. Even in street of Lagos, they don't even go into street of Lagos to even give us what is happening in Lagos. You know, you have like YouTube news channels like Flip TV, who were able to go into the street, and sometimes they will ask silly questions, people ask questions about what is happening, and people are able to relate back. And by listening to these people, you are able to know what is actually happening in the street, which, like most of those people who are ruling us, that they're not even aware of. So I think it is important to have all those new avenue of being able to speak freely, to go out there, to ask questions, you know, because sometimes I look at it, I wonder why our government, you know, especially the current government, I wonder why they are afraid of free speech, because they also came into power with all this free speech, like Sahara Reporter. Those are people that they use. They sold Baba to me. You know, me too, I was one of those, say Baba, say Buhari, because of what I read in Sahara Report, you know, this Sahara Report. So if, like, the current government, if they have that avenue or be able to come into government using that tool, so why do they want to burn the bridge? Why won't they give other people the opportunity? Why are they so afraid of free speech? Because they came into power, giving the opportunity for them to be able to speak freely. They were able to speak freely. They were open to open our eyes to whatever that was happening in Nigeria at that time. And that is why most of us, we voted for them. So I believe that we should give the young people opportunity for them to be able to speak freely, to write freely, to do things. Yes, maybe we need to caution ourselves a bit, but, you know, as the society is becoming more advanced, people will be able to know the difference between, you know, maybe something that is real or fake. But for us to say you are going to shut everything down, I do not think it is. I don't think it is right. I believe that, you know, everybody should have opportunity to be able to speak freely, to know what is happening. If, you know, government is about check and balances. If people are not able to go out there and tell the government that, okay, this is wrong, or, you know, that we're not happy about this thing, so how are they going to make changes? How are they going to know that, oh, okay, whatever they are doing that people are not happy with? At the same time, you know, people can actually go out there and praise the government as well. People can say good things about the government. It's also part of free speech. You know, some people will be against the government, some people will be happy with the government. So the government does not really have to listen to the good side all the time. It is good to have both positive criticism and negative one. They all go hand in hand. And, you know, every day we read about Donald Trump, we read about Boris Johnson. You know, it's not every roses, it's not everything, it's not all the time they are saying positive things about Boris Johnson. Sometimes they say positive things about him, sometimes they say negative things about him. And that is the way government is. You know, you cannot say you're going to shut the door just because what people are saying is wrong. You can't do that. It is important, if you care for your people, if you care about your people, then you will listen to them. You will listen to them, whatever they are saying. You know, when people voice out their opinions about somebody, it's because they care. And I think that is when the government should listen instead of them feeling irritated. This is good to listen to the message, not the messenger. Maybe if you don't even like the person that is saying it, but listen to whatever they are saying, then you can make amendment. If we're not willing to listen to people, So how are we going to make positive changes? How are we going to know that whatever that we're doing, it is wrong or it is right? So by allowing people to speak freely, by allowing people to say, whatever that is in their mind, even when people speak, you are able to know their mindset, because sometimes when there are shows, we just go and read the comments, and while I read the comments, we'll be able to know people's mindset about a particular thing. So when people speak, the government will be able to know that, okay, the program that we're running is good, or the program we're running is maybe need changes, or if we need, to be adjusted. That is part of the reason why I believe that it is important for us to be able to have to be able to have free speech, for people to be able to speak freely. And when you think about people like Baba Awolowo, when they were sort of fighting for our independence, I can imagine, because I was thinking about it, and I'm thinking about, okay, all what Baba Awolowo and the rest were saying those days, how will it have sounded to the ear of the colonizer? How would they feel? How would the British feel about us? But they didn't gag us. They didn't gag him. They allowed him to speak out. They give them the opportunity to talk. And by having that opportunity to talk and enlighten people, we're able to get the independence that we've got today. If they've gagged them then and said, okay, because you wanted freedom, we're shutting you down, we're shutting everybody down, all of us we're not going to have the independence that we have today. So I am personally very, very proud of the young, what I call press officer, the Sorosoki generation. I am very proud of them, what they do, because what I have learned for the past few years is, to be honest, is from the new generation of press officers, the Sorosoki. I have learned so much from them. I am proud of them. And this, we must not allow that opportunity to slip from our hands, because that creates lots of jobs for our young people. You have all these musicians, the Davidos, the Wizkid, all this, the young girl, Emanuela, the comedian. She started on YouTube. She will do all those comedy sketches on YouTube, and through that she becomes an household name, and lots of people like that. So the YouTube, the Facebook, the internet as a whole is a it's a positive access to us in Yoruba land. It has really, really helped us. It has really, really created jobs for most of our young people. Majority of our young people don't have government jobs. They don't have government jobs. These are areas where our people are able to create little things for themselves. They are able to manage their life. So it is important for us to make sure that, to ensure that we support them. Yes, in every society, there's always going to be some negative aspect of things, but just because there's a bit of fake news, then we're going to shut the whole door. I do not think it's right. I don't think it's right, because no institution is perfect. So we're never going to have an Eldorado place where everything is going to be perfect, or there's not going to be fake news. There's always going to be fake news. But we must not, just because of the small fake news, then gag everybody, then turn everything around. No, I do not think it is right. I think it's important for us to educate our people, or maybe the need to reduce some negative aspect of the media. However, we must support our people. We must ensure that we do not allow them to gag our people, because that is area where, because if we allowed it, it's not going to affect on Nigeria. Let's be honest, it's going to affect Yoruba most. Because when you look at it, most of the media houses, most of whatever that is happening out there on the internet, on YouTube, is mainly 80% are from the Yoruba land. And if you take that away, that is taking away our freedom. That is taking away Yoruba freedom. It's not called Nigeria. Yes, they will say it's Nigeria, but we know that 80% of whatever that is happening there is Yoruba's one. So if we allow that, that means we are condemning our children to being labeled as terrorists, to being labeled as people that produce fake news. We are taking food out of our children's mouth. We are bringing more poverty into our land if we allow this to happen. If we did not speak up about it, if we do not support our children right now, that is their job gone. I am not saying that they are perfect. I am not saying that there's no fake news. I am not saying that, but I'm saying the positivity of it outweigh the negative aspect of it. I am saying we should support our children. We should support Yoruba economy. That is our economy. Because right now, when you look at it, we haven't got what the other tribe in Nigeria have got. I'm sorry to say this, the Northerners have got the backing of federal government to get jobs. The Igbos have got their own thing that they do when they bring their brothers and sisters to come and learn the trade. So what did we have as Yoruba people? What do we have? What is going to sustain our economy if we allow this to happen to our young ones? Because they are able to do, I've seen, I was looking through the internet, a very young, talented boy, he did a sketch of our king, Oni of Ife, and he put it there on the internet, and lots of people are able to see. These are part of the positive things that is happening out there. So if we allow things like this to happen, if we say, okay, because of fake news, we're going to stop, we are not going to make this law to guard people, it's not just it's going to affect every one of us. I might say, oh, it's a community, but it's going to come everybody as time goes by, because corruption is going to go up. It means somebody, your extended family might just be arrested, no question asked, because we're not going to police state. They will arrest somebody, no question asked. They will intimidate people, no question asked. It is going to get worse. Our democracy is gone. And when our democracy is gone, if people have got ideas, they will find a way to defend it, no matter what we say. You can intimidate them, you can brutalize them, but when people are determined to do something, they will find one way or the other to do it. And these are where, when you drive people to underground, instead of the government now to come out and listen, especially now to the Yoruba government and to the Yoruba leaders, when the children are talking, listen to them, show them that you care. Don't drive them into underground, because by the time they you drive them into underground and they're not speaking out again, they're not Sorosoke anymore. Then lack of Sorosoke will probably lead to violence and terrorism, because people will now do whatever they want to do that they're not doing openly, they will do it, they will find a way of defending it. So
Thank you.
I'm going to be ending my talk. It's a very short one by what George Washington, what he says. George Washington says that if we do not defend our freedom of speech, now I'm not going to quote it the way he said, but I'm just going to wrap it up, that if we do not defend it, that we will be like the dumb and the silent, be led like a sheep to slaughterhouse. And if we do not want to be led like a sheep into slaughterhouse, let all of us as Yoruba support our children by fighting against anybody that wants to gag us. Because at the end of the day, it's going to affect every one of us. If we allow this to happen, because I am very comfortable where I am, you are very comfortable where you are, but it's still going to hurt us because we've got family in Nigeria and we cannot allow that to happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Very well said. Let me welcome those of you who have joined me. We are on a very important episode of a program called Agbakunitoni Ududua. For those who may not know, I've been in British politics for 36 years, and people will tell you, I ain't doing this program for no reason. So please feel free to express yourself. I don't waste my time. I'm in business. Thank you, Princess. Freedom of speech, I am passionate about it as well. Let me bring back my third speaker, who, due to the network, we lost him for a while. But before he resumes, I will allow him to resume just for another 10 minutes or so. Let me make this quite clear. When people come onto my program, they say, oh, they are speaking English. I'm afraid I don't just do my program. I want my programs to influence changes. And if I am an elder statesman in England, those I interact with, they don't speak Yoruba. They don't. So there's no point me wanting to bring about changes with programs where people are just running things in Yoruba. And may I also say, far too often, Yoruba expresses their opinion and they put it out there. And when those who want to know more about Yoruba issues, those who want to educate themselves, who are not Yoruba speaking, they can't find programs in English. So how are we going to be making differences? How are we going to facilitate understanding of our plight? We're not trying to convince Yorubas about our plight. I'm not doing that. I want to see changes. I want to see improved level of understanding amongst those who are non-Yoruba speakers, in particular our children all over the world, who you'll see them getting involved in demonstration. Majority of them have never been to Nigeria. Majority of them don't know what Yoruba land looks like. And they don't speak Yoruba. And we cannot penalize them. We can't penalize them because of that. Thank you very much, Princess. On that note, let me bring back my third speaker, whom we lost earlier on. Welcome back, Architect. Over to you. You have 10 minutes to share more of what you had on the plate for us. We can't wait to begin to eat it. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Ma. You said it all. I went off because of network and the likes. So yeah, I stopped at a point where I was talking about Yoruba culture, getting to learn our children, the one coming after us, to get to understand what the culture is really all about. So I said that in as much we all agree that social media is a tool, how we use it, how we put it into use is the thing that really matters. So now, I'm looking at an avenue whereby, you know, a Yoruba man can just come up from, anywhere, just develop a software that could even help in spreading and preaching the custom of Yoruba people. Because there's no way we can talk about Yoruba as a group of people that will not be talking about our culture. My heart really bleeds when I see people that says they are Yorubas, that in their actions, in their in the way they relate, the way they behave, doesn't even portray what Yoruba people stand for. So,
over to you. Can you hear me? You may unmute yourself. As usual, we do get people who don't understand when you log on to a Zoom program, you should be as quiet as you possibly can be. Over to you, architect. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Let's have a look. Architect, can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me? Where are we?